because we are together trying to make this world a more beautiful place. Kind of like how if you have a house or if you have your own apartment, you're constantly walking around it and trying to find out how I can make it more livable, how I can make it more beautiful, how I can make it more exciting. I'm gonna add the plants here. I'm gonna, paint the wall. I'm gonna cover my couch with colorful cushions. So we should do that when it comes to our world and our society. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Soulful Intuitive. I wanted to thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I also would like it if you share our content with your friends and family, if you find it suitable for them, or if you think that they would like the material. Every week, I get inspired by either a podcast or a conversation or a book or a clip. So I usually wait until something presents itself to me. And today's topic is about a conversation I had with one of my good clients. And he's a guy in his early 30s. He works very hard on himself. He works very hard to move up in the world, both in his career and with his relationship with his partner, his girlfriend. And I remember the last time I was cutting his hair, he was talking about how he bartends one night a week because he likes to socialize, and his partner is more on the introverted side, so she likes to stay at home, and that's how he gets his socialization in, and also he gets to talk to strangers and have a little fun. But what we were talking about this topic, and then he went on to tell me that he started this attitude, this new way of complimenting people, because he was telling me that a lot of people are not seen by their partner. They're not seen, period. I found that really interesting because in my line of work as a hairstylist, we are trained to see everything. So when our clients come and we haven't seen them in a while, we notice if they've put on weight or if they've lost weight, if they've changed their nails, if they have new eyebrow tattoo, if they've done some improvement with their looks, and it always puts a smile on their face when you notice these things. And sometimes in my career with some of my clients, let's say I'm like, oh, you have Botox, and first they deny it. No, I didn't. What are you talking about? And then I'm like, okay, well, sorry, my bad. And then after they leave my chair, they text me, sorry, I can't lie to you. Yeah, I had Botox for the first time, but I'm not telling anyone. In my world, I see everything. And usually we assume that everyone else lives life exactly like we do, right? False. That's not true. So he told me that he was inspired by the fact that, let's say, if he's been working out at the gym very hard, from the last time I saw him to the next time I see him, that as soon as he walks in, I notice, oh, like your legs are bigger or your arms are bigger. That really just satisfies his need, because we all have the need to be heard. We all have the need to be seen, to be recognized. And it's very important to make a habit of not just receiving those compliments, not just receiving the recognition, but also pay it forward. People think that in order to compliment someone or recognize them, they all have to be supermodels. And that is BS, because every single person on this planet has qualities, physical and non-physical, that are worth recognizing, that are worth admiring. And by not admiring it, actually, we are insulting the universe, our creator, because we're all made in their image, and every single one of us has a purpose. So if someone is aesthetically beautiful according to 21st century, because let's face it, the standards of beauty is always changing. So what's considered beautiful in the 70s is no longer considered that beautiful now. So as we change, our standards change. And also, now we have this beauty industry that tells the whole world that everybody has to look the same, which is, again, very, very untrue, because we come in different shapes, different colors, and we have different ways to show our beauty to the world. So but the beauty industry tells us, oh, everybody has to be under 30, everybody has to be fit and has zero body fat, and everybody has to have a certain skin, and everybody has to have a certain hair, and everybody has to have a certain face shape. Like, I remember when we went to hair school, we literally had to study different facial shapes, oval, square, round, oblong, you name it. And but we all wanted to create. So the perfect shape was considered oval shape, and let's just be real, it's very racist, because that is a prominent facial shape with Caucasians, and there's so many other races out in the world that they don't have oval faces, but they were teaching us that we need to create an illusion that everybody has an oval face. So we need to create a haircut that, maybe makes the face that's a little bit on the rounder side more angular, or the face that's a little bit on the longer side more like rounder. Things are changing because that's not true. And as a hairstylist, I'm sure a lot of you out there, doctors, plastic surgeons, makeup artists, photographers, you deal with all kinds of people, and beauty comes in so many different forms. So my client started this new habit that he just walks up to people and compliments them, and genuine compliments. He starts by saying, I hope you're having a good day. If it's a female, he says, I'm not hitting on you. I just wanted to take a second and tell you that you have gorgeous hair, that your smile is infectious, that your eyes just lit up the room. Something really profound, not sleazy, but very heartfelt, genuine. And he did it to one of my clients who was waiting, because I was finishing up with his hair, and my next client was a female client, was waiting right behind me in the waiting area. And before he left, he stepped towards her and said, hey, just wanted to say that you have such beautiful eyes. And then he left. And my client was first a little shocked, and then she was like, he wasn't gay, was he? I'm like, no, he wasn't. He's straight and has a girlfriend. And I know that that particular client of mine doesn't really handle compliments very well, but also she tells me that in her relationships, she usually doesn't receive compliments from her partner. So there you go. He just made someone's day without even knowing that person doesn't receive compliments. And actually, one of the things that people don't know is sometimes you want to compliment someone, and then you find them really attractive, but you decide that because you find them really attractive, that they're probably getting compliments all the time, and you complimenting them would not matter, and that they would just overlook it or would not see value in it. And it's not true, because that's what most people think. And sometimes the prettiest girl in the room, or the most handsome guy in the room, is very thirsty for those compliments. Real compliments are actually acknowledging someone else, and you can recognize their intelligence. You can recognize the tone of their voice. You can recognize their strong presence. You could recognize the genius and the way they talk, and they link topics together. You can recognize their physique. You can recognize the way that they walk. You can recognize the way they dance. I mean, there's so many ways that we can compliment others. If they're very musical, if they sing, or if they play something, or if you go to their home and their home is beautiful, like all these are all the things. We all have gifts, and we were all given gifts. Every single person has gifts. And it's important for us to recognize each other. It's important for us to say, yeah, you're great. I'm coming to you with purity. I'm coming to you with an attempt to just recognize you. And if we all do that, we will just we'll see what will happen, because people will walk up to us too, and they will recognize us as well. And we also have to become very comfortable with receiving compliments, because a lot of times people are very uncomfortable receiving compliments because, one, they haven't been on the receiving end on receiving compliments, or two, they think that if you give them a compliment, you want something. And that's why they have a negative reaction. For example, another client of mine who just had a baby, she messaged me and she said, yeah, I just had a beautiful baby, sending me a picture of her and her husband and the newborn, and beautiful lady, and right on the hospital bed. And then she said, 6 days after I gave birth to my child, I went for a quick walk because that'll help with my recovery. And being this big and just having had a baby, some guy just walked up to me and said, sorry, just wanted to let you know how beautiful you are. And she was like not taking it well. She was a little offended that, how dare you? I just had a baby. I'm recovering from a surgery, and so basically F off kind of attitude. And then goes home and tells the husband, can you believe it that in this state, somebody had the guts to compliment me? And I said to her, that is universe recognizing your glow of motherhood. I mean, what is more beautiful than bringing life into this world? What's more precious than being a new mom? What you don't see in the mirror right now, because unfortunately, for boys and girls, we all have to be thin and we all have to fit in tiny clothes, and we don't appreciate these phases of life. For example, if you're a new parent, usually new parents put on some weight because they're nesting. And it's beautiful because instead of them spending outside, going for a run or biking or hours at the gym, they are spending time with their newborn, they're bonding. And that's beautiful. But because they look in the mirror and they don't see how beautiful they are, because they're in this beautiful stage, this powerful, glorious stage of their life. And yet when somebody else sees it, they don't believe it. So I wrote her back and I said, this was universe complimenting you because you just accomplished 9 months of pregnancy with a difficult birth, and yet you're on your feet, you have a beautiful baby, and you have the glow, even if you don't see it. And then she wrote me right back, you're absolutely right. You know what? You're right. I'm sorry I didn't see it that way, because she didn't see the beauty in herself, that she couldn't receive the compliment. And another issue with compliments, because I am a complimenter, and not fake compliments. I really dislike it when you go, oh, you look great, or your hair looks great, or something, and then right away people are like, oh, you look great too. Well, that's not genuine. That is just tit for tat. That's just social obligation. So it doesn't really land on anyone's heart. You need to point something out that's real. And for that, you need to have the eyes for it, and you need to take time. Sometimes you also need to train your eyes, because some people look around and all they see is ugliness. And that's just the way they've trained their mind and trained their eyes, can see beauty around every corner. And then after that, it just comes to you naturally. I'm very comfortable complimenting men and women. And over the years, I've gotten even better at it, because instead of going, oh, you look hot, which I don't, I just say, oh, I really like your calves, or I really like your shoes today. Your outfit is very complimentary. I really like the way you did your makeup today. I really like the way you're training your body. I really like your voice. Has anyone told you have a radio voice, and you're probably a great singer? I mean, there's so much out there for us to see, and it's actually exciting, because when you see beauty in people, you know what happens? You will start seeing beauty in yourself. And usually people who are so critical of others and just all they see is unattractiveness, they do the same thing. They find unattractiveness and short shortcomings in their overall being, in their appearance, and who they are as a human beings. I learned from my client one more time that, you can go out there and, it's great to have New Year's Eve resolution that I want to lose 5 pounds, I want to lose 10 pounds, I want to make more money, whatever. But what about making these promises to ourselves that I'm going to make people feel better by acknowledging them, by recognizing them, by cherishing them, by honoring them? Because what's more honorable than standing in front of someone and say, I see you and you're beautiful, and then walk away? I want to bring that into awareness, and I want to shine light on it, because I think that it's such a great habit to do. Maybe instead of like the bucket of ice challenge, maybe we should start a compliment challenge. One more thing that I want to add is, unfortunately, people who feel insecure, when you compliment them, they kind of just either brush it off or they say thank you, like a dry thank you. Please don't let it discourage you, because that has nothing to do with what you're doing. It has a lot to say. It's all about them. It's all about the state of their mind, how they think about themselves. And sometimes it might come across as maybe the reason why they don't say it heartfelt, or maybe they're not maybe complimenting you back genuinely, is because you're not good enough. But the way they make you feel is actually how they feel on the inside themselves. So if somebody made you feel like you're not good enough after you compliment them, right away, brush that feeling off of your back. Just know that this has nothing to do with you. You just picked up on their feeling of inadequacy from them, and just walk away. And don't let these little setbacks or these, well, it seems like rejection actually of your gesture, discourage you, because we are together trying to make this world a more beautiful place. Kind of like how if you have a house or if you have your own apartment, you're constantly walking around it and trying to find out how I can make it more livable, how I can make it more beautiful, how I can make it more exciting. I'm gonna add the plants here. I'm gonna, paint the wall. I'm gonna cover my couch with colorful cushions. So we should do that when it comes to our world and our society. When people feel known and seen and recognized, then they will be the better version of you. Unfortunately, the reason why we are going through this chaos of social media, selfies, likes, and more likes, and that's how people realize their worth, I guess, which is crazy to me, is because we have stopped recognizing each other in a genuine way. I know people go on Instagram and like someone because they like them back. That's not genuine. That's contractual. That's obligation. It doesn't mean anything. You can get one heartfelt, genuine compliment from someone, and it could set you up for your day or your week or your month. And you can have 1 million likes on your social media. It doesn't mean anything, because it's not genuine. And sure, some of them really are when they're liking you, but there's no interaction. It's online. You don't see them. You can't look them in the eye. There is no reading their energy and aura and their feelings when you're exchanging those words and those sentiments. So I want to end this by encouraging everybody to bring compliments and complimenting others into your daily practice. Just kind of like how we meditate, and sometimes we donate, and sometimes we exercise. This is really good for us and also for everyone around us. Like when you go to work, if somebody's wearing a new perfume, stop and say, you smell great. Like, what is it? So these are little steps that we can take in order to make humanity as whole better, and to make humanity as whole more confident, more worthy, and push it into a better direction. Because when people are happy and genuinely feel valued, they put their best foot forward and they show the better side of themselves as opposed to their shadow side. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you on our next episode. Thank you.